Alright, so what's up, people? As everyone in our group, R.T.I, already knows, I'm in the process of buying my first truck. And I had said that I wanted to document the process to kind of help some other people that are just getting into it, just learning and thinking about taking the same step that I am. I wanted it to kind of help them out because outside of R.T.I and speaking with the guys and a lot of these guys that have given me some really good, really solid information, there's not a lot out there on it. There's not a lot of people doing videos on it, and there's definitely no one that's kind of walking you through the process. So kind of what I intend to do here. So bear with me. I'm really going to try to cover as much of it as I can through a series of videos. If I can do that and it not be an issue, if I'm able to do that and help some people, then great. I don't want to exclude, alienate, or forget anyone or anything. So, first things first, I want to say thanks to all the guys that have helped me get to this point by sharing some information. Big Bro, Saint, Steve, Brooks, Trucking for Cash, Carolina Tanker, Travel Lease, Road Queen, Green Lantern, Boat Hunter, Boat Shifter, Mars, Crazy Raging. I want to thank all you guys because without you guys kind of nudging me in the right directions, I would probably be a year or two away from this point right now as I stand. So to start out, I'm going to say first thing you need to do is make sure this industry is something you want to do. Make sure this industry is something you're willing to make that commitment to, and make sure your family's willing to make that commitment to and that sacrifice to, because you are going to sacrifice your time, you're going to sacrifice your sanity to an extent, you're going to sacrifice holidays, you're going to sacrifice weekends, you're going to sacrifice your kids' baseball games and basketball games and football games and wrestling matches. It's not true in every case, and it doesn't happen like that all the time, but it does happen. And, with that being said, you got to make sure you're comfortable making that commitment. You got to make sure your family is okay with that commitment, because you're not doing it on your own. You got a support team around you. You got a support system around you. If you're single and you don't have anybody that at home that you need to worry about, then cool, great, good for you. Well, not to say good for you as if having a family is a bad thing, but it makes it a little bit easier for you to make these decisions. But you got to be ready to make that decision and commit and really, really be in it, and know that you got a supporting cast behind you that's going to do a lot of that behind the scenes work that needs to be done. Beyond the commitment of getting into trucking, you need to understand that you got to have your time under your belt. You need to have, a year is about the minimum I'd say you should have before you consider buying a truck. If you can get 2 years under your belt, even better. 3 years, even better. 5 years, even better. But sometimes you get an opportunity and you're presented with an opportunity, and you got to jump at it. But I would absolutely say the bottom dollar bare minimum is a year of experience. I don't have as much experience as others, but I got a couple years in, and I was lucky enough. Some say lucky enough. I say lucky enough. Some say not, but I was lucky enough to kind of cut my teeth in the Northeast, in New York and New Jersey, doing a lot of New York City, a lot of Long Island, a lot of New Jersey, where you're dealing with, you know, crazy weather, crazy traffic. You're dealing with, you know, major snowstorms and crazy rain and hurricane weather at some points in the year, and the insanity of New York City. And I've delivered in all 5 boroughs. I actually, you know, was driving for a local company for my first year and change that, you know, all we did was New York City, Long Island, you know, a lot of George Washington Bridge, a lot of all of those. So I was able to kind of cut my teeth and get my experience in some of the most hectic situations for a driver. And then I got out and got over the road, and I've been doing over the road for some time now. And the company I'm currently with presented me with an opportunity to purchase a truck and lease on with them, which you got to make your mind up as to if that's something you want to do. You know, you can buy a truck and lease on to another company. You can buy a truck and get your own authority and try to get your own direct customers and operate that way. That itself comes down to a personal preference thing. I mean, some people feel like, you know, the only real way to do it is getting your own authority. I personally don't. Some of the people, and I didn't get to mention these guys when I was speaking earlier, that kind of I followed as I was getting into this industry, Ghost, Casanova. You know, I specifically remember Casanova talking about, you know, he didn't want to deal with the headache of having his own authority anymore. He had it, but he suspended it because it was easier for him to have his couple trucks, 2, 3 trucks, whatever the case was, and run them under someone else's authority. And he made a good decision for himself, you know, and it led to some successes for him, and he was able to build himself, you know, a solid business and consistent business by doing it that way, without the headache of having your own authority and having to maintain and manage that. So for me, that's going to be the route I'm going to take. Makes the most sense for me. It's the opportunity I have in front of me. It'll keep me rolling, keep me consistent with freight, keep me on the go nonstop. So that's going to be the way I'm going to attack it, and it's kind of my game plan. My game plan is to eventually have a few trucks. Right now, currently I'm running dry van. I'll be running dry van under this company. I do personally want to get into flatbed myself. You know, maybe some equipment hauling, some, you know, just to kind of, for the challenge in it, for the hard work and the hard run in it. I mean, personally, I kind of want to push myself, and some people will say go tanker if you want to push yourself or whatever, but you know, flatbed's kind of the road I'm aiming down. Now, that may change, but I don't see it getting too far away from flatbed. But I do still want to maintain, you know, some solid connections and some solid business in the dry van world. Because I want to build myself a small fleet, you know, 2 trucks, 3 trucks, 4 trucks, all leased on under another company. Hire some drivers and leased on under this company, I should say, and let them run some dry van freight while I'm out there making some flatbed money, and, you know, put myself and my family in a better position. So once you've to get back on top